Hello, everybody. Hope everyone is all right. A little bit of just there we go. Hope the air conditioning is not too noisy as it is working, and it is a little noisy here. And I'm going to check out the websites that I usually use. Let's get on HF Underground for Pirates. I'll check out the EIBI space for the schedules. And let's check Preom for the number stations just in case. So the next number stations in an hour's time. Morse code 1 on 10767. So I'll keep an eye on that one. Okay. Yeah, I've noticed on my videos that the AC doesn't seem to be too much of a problem. It's the microphone's very directional, so it's adding away from it, so it doesn't seem to impact too much. So welcome everybody, and hope that you are had a great month of June. We're already the first Saturday of July, July 6th, 2024. And yes, I have a scratchy voice because of karaoke last night. So that is my scratchy voice when I sing a couple too many songs. So it's nice to have all of you here, and nice to have this live show. So we're going to talk about different things, a little bit about recording radios. We're going to talk about the Shoyung LC90 that's soon to have an update to its firmware. We're going to check out what's on the bands and whatever comes up. We'll see what happens. I'll answer questions. So my name is Gilles. I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. That's northeast part of North America. And here we talk about radio, and more radio. And we just have a lot of fun in what is essentially a very solitary type of hobby, but that we can do also together. Hope that you also enjoyed my special live show for the midwinter, BBC Midwinter broadcast on June 21st. That was a lot of fun listening to that festive broadcast. It's available online on the BBC website. If you just search for the BBC Midwinter broadcast, you can hear the whole podcast there too. I have it on my channel, but with less the music, which is more of us together, also listening to it. But it was a lot of fun to listen to. There's an event also coming up next Friday, and we're going to talk about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for those that like utilities. So this is going to be really, really cool. If you want to participate, there's a fantastic chat room where there's wonderful people, and this is the place where you can, of course, interact with each other. And it's always fun. And if you have questions, especially if you have lots of newcomers to the hobby here, and this is probably the best place if you have any questions or anything. Um, the uh, the on the radio hobby in general, not just shortwave. It could be, from shortwave to medium wave, long wave, could be scanner radio. We do focus a lot on shortwave, but everything radio is okay. And we do have a Facebook group, the official SWL channel Facebook group, open to anyone who wants to join in. So when the live shows are not happening, it doesn't mean that we're not getting any news of anyone. There's more than 3,700 members there, and there's a lot of activity of people, what they're listening to, radios that they want to talk about, or ask questions, and so on. It's another great place to be. So this is going to be cool. Here we should reach, I calculated that we will be reaching possibly 50,000 subscriber within 2 to 3 months on the channel. So that's going to be pretty cool. Another milestone for the shortwave channel. I never thought we'd reach 50,000 subscribers on what is a very niche, very unique hobby and radio in general. It's pretty cool. So it's coming soon. It's coming soon. 50,000 subscribers. Pretty cool. So let's go to the chat room. Check it out here. And by the way, for those that are asking about the Zoom, like I said last time, the Zoom meetings are going to come back in September. So no Zoom in July or August. We'll get back on a Zoom meeting for the those that contribute to the channel in some way. Contribution means you could give a couple of dollars. You could give through PayPal or through the super chat here, or if you like a video and you decided you want to donate through a video, or of course the PayPal option. But a donation can also be in the form of hardware, meaning you have a radio, you don't want it, you think it'd have a good place here. Well, that also counts as a donation, and that also will add you to the Zoom meetings that are a lot of fun. It's very different from what we do here, because here I see just a chat room. You guys see my face, but on a Zoom meeting, we see each other and we have a lot of fun interacting with each other in a different level, we do some listening together, and we do all sorts of talk about radio. So it's essentially a different kind of thing, and it's a lot of fun also. So Matt, MDK2, nice to have you on board from Denver, Colorado. Pretty cool. It's 88.9 there, 21.6. We're here. We're not there yet. We're at 20. We're at 29. So we're not that far. We're at 29 Celsius. So roughly maybe mid 80s. It's going to be around 90 many days this week. So it's summer in Montreal. Master Players Radio and Television Plus Gaming. Nice to have you on board for Morgan City, Louisiana. WA5107 SWL. Nice to have you here, Bobby. James Farley, nice to have you on board. And KD2GUZ, nice to have you here in Old Bridge, New Jersey. Shortwave Archive, nice to have you on board from Colorado. David's Radio Room, nice to have you here from Central Georgia and enjoying 35 degrees Celsius and high humidity. So that's, for me, that's either I could be at the, if it's possible to be at the beach, or if I'm not at the beach or near a pool, it's air conditioning inside, just like now. Cheers, everyone. This is a raspberry beer that I found at the, there's a new store not far from where I live. They call themselves 1,000,001 beers or something like that. And they do say that it is the place in the city where you will get the best choice of beers. So I went to see what it looked like, and there's a lot of beers, I have to say. I probably would be able to taste each beer and still and it would take me probably a couple of years before I can really taste all of them. So this one is a raspberry beer that's made here in Quebec. Not bad. It's has a good taste. What do we have? KW1161, nice to have you here. VA3 JPX, nice to have you here. We have, let's go down. So KW1161 says 105 Fahrenheit in Tucson, Arizona. Yeah, some cold watermelon. Watermelon. That's very refreshing also. In the summer days when it's hot. 54 CAL. Nice to have you here from Pennsylvania. So he's ready for fall. I'm not a big fan of big heat, so I always kind of am rather happy when we get into late August, September, and temperature starts to go down a little. It's always one of the best times for me, spending more time outside. David's radio room already had his watermelon, and now he's drinking root beer float. That's good. That's pretty good too. I haven't had that in a long time. I always forget. I went to A&W for a burger, and it's like I always forget. It's like I want to have A&W root beer. Jay Watterson 69. Nice to have you on board. And we have VT Radio. Paul, nice to have you here. AA1SU in Northern Vermont. Brad Shaver, nice to have you here from North Illinois. Richard Wagner, nice to have you on board from Northeast Illinois. WA9301 SWL. RJDA Dakota, nice to have you on board. We have Rob's radio channel. Nice to have you here. Blogger Die, nice to have you here, Kevin. Nice to check out all of the stuff and your participation in answering radio questions that people are asking. It's always appreciated. Robert Varner, nice to have you here. KC2TEL in New Jersey. Pretty cool. DX Swinger, nice to have you on board from Southeast Pennsylvania. Chuck Schreiber, nice to have you on board. N5KVO and from South Texas. Jean Arrache, salut, j'espère que tu vas bien. Nice to have you on board, my friend. We have Michael, nice to have you on board from New Jersey. So my audio is good, says RJ Dakota. No noise from the climate control system. Pretty cool. Keegan DXer, nice to have you here from Northwest Arkansas. 90 Fahrenheit and sunny over there. Here we're in the risks of heavy thunderstorms tonight. I haven't checked actually the weather map to see if anything's coming up. If I look at it here, radar, yeah, there's some patchy some patchy little thunderstorms, but they're pretty far from Montreal for now, so it's not too bad. Not too bad. As long as they don't come over here, I'm fine. UTV and Ham, KD9WNV, nice to have you here. We have Jerry Hart, nice to have you on board from Niagara Falls, New York. We have Glenn Densler, nice to have you here from South Carolina. VT Radio says, anybody chasing the 13 colonies this week? I got a clean sweep in 2 evenings. You know, the funniest thing about that, I participated last year and I had a lot of fun and totally forgot about it this year for some reason. And the worst part is I noticed because I turned on the Yesu and I looked in the clusters to see what exotic stations was there, and then I recognized all the calls, and I thought, oh, it's that week, the 13 colonies. So I haven't done any. I Wednesday evening, I think, was when I noticed it, and I mean, I still had some time. I could have started and try to, go chase the different stations, and ended up chasing other stations instead. And finally, I haven't done anything. Technically, I think it ends tomorrow, so I could possibly still have some time. 57 shortwave. Nice to have you on board. Happy first Saturday of the month. Nice to have you here, Steve in Georgia. Luis Simmons, nice to have you on board. Good afternoon. And it says, what are the new update that you have on the Quartus and radio, if you have any at all? So, well, no real update. I posted pretty much everything that I wanted to say about the Quartus and radio on the YouTube videos. I love the radios. They perform very, very well. Like I said, the only thing that is missing on that radio is single sideband. Put single sideband on it, and man, you've almost got the perfect radio there. It's really, really, truly amazing. I did spend quite a lot of time listening to some FM, far away FM broadcasts. I did compare the FM band because I want to compare it with other radios, and I came across my good old Texan PL 680, and it made me realize that the Texan PL 680 isn't that bad on FM, because most of what the courtesan was hearing, I could get on the Texan PL 680 also. But I had to shorten the antenna because it was overloading. But once I found the correct length, it worked fine. And I'd say that 9 out of 10 stations on FM were heard on the Texan PL 680. So I'm going to check it out with other radios, other Texans, and some of the radios that also might some people might use for AM, FM, DXing, stuff like that. We're going to check that out. So, Rob, like I said, the Zoom meeting will be in September. So any donations that are from after the last Zoom until we get there in mid-September, will you're in any time that you send something, you're in automatically. So but it's going to be in September. I'm going to wait till the fall. I think it's going to be a little better. The thing is also the timing. It's like, for example, what I hate about summer in what we do in the live shows is that 20 hours UTC is the live show. It's 4 p.m. in the afternoon here. The sun still has almost 5 hours before it's going to set. So it's not the best DX time. And this is what I like about like fall or spring when we do live shows, even winter. That time is perfect for hearing a lot more. So as we'll go through like the next live show in August, that one will probably be a little better because the sun already will be setting earlier, and slowly we'll get into more of a DX season if you want. So that's pretty much it. Terrence, nice to have you on board. KD2ANN in New Jersey. Jim Gordon, nice to have you here. Says, from wet and soggy Scotland, I was going to take my newly modded ICF 2001D out to the beach, but the heavy rain put paid to that, so tomorrow is another day. Yeah, better not get that radio wet. You don't want that. Stan Hossan, nice to have you here. Says, don't know if I can hear from Harrison, Arkansas. What frequencies on shortwave is hurricane spotters on? It looks like tropical depression barrel will come through Arkansas. Well, usually on the most active frequency is the Hurricane WatchNet, which you can look at. Just gonna put the link here, like hurricanewatchnet.org. They tell you when the net is active, and they use two frequencies. So check for that. They usually do not necessarily follow tropical storms once they've touched land and they have gone, weaker. They mostly look at, coastal areas when the storms, that the hurricanes really hit hard. So check it out. You'll see if, when they activate the net or not. Right now, it says that it's not active. But anytime there's a hurricane, check the net. It could be interesting to listen to. There should be other types of net. I find that we have, especially with the amateur radio side, the Hurricane Watch Net is, a voluntary effort by some amateur radio operators, and I think there should be more on that. Not just Hurricane Watch Nets. There should be, bad weather nets that could happen on shortwave. In big snowstorms in the wintertime when there's blizzards. I'm sure that could be helpful. I'm looking here. The Hurricane Watch Net is very U.S. centric, meaning it has to hit the United States. And most of the time, when it doesn't hit anything that is outside the United States or not related to the U.S., the net usually isn't active. So I think there should be some net that focus on other parts, like here on the East Coast in Canada. In recent years, we've had these storms that are more and more powerful as the years go by. The ocean water is warmer, and so some of those hurricanes actually get up to Newfoundland or Nova Scotia and hit. Sometimes they're still, like category 1 hurricanes when they hit. So I think there should be an equivalent for the Maritimes or for Canada, some Hurricane WatchNet Canada thing. I think that would be really, really nice. We have Stanley. Nice to have you on board. We have Penny C. Nice to have you here. We have. Let me just try to find where I was. Hello there. No problem, Matt. Shortwave Archive says received his first QSL from NHK this week. Cool. That is nice. Michael, your shows run very well. Thank you. Terrence, nice to have you here. Stan, awesome. Okay. What else do we have? We have. We have. Blogger Die is at 99 Fahrenheit outside. Art Dodd, nice to have you here. Art K2 ADC in New Jersey. Jerry Hart, nice to have you here. Anyone doing the weather maps from New Orleans? You mean decoding them, like for to look? It is, by the way, one of the fun things to do. If you have a hurricane that's hitting, in the Atlantic, the East Coast, or even the Caribbean, decoding the weather maps and the weather charts from WeatherFax stations, like in New Orleans. You also have the one from Chesapeake, Virginia. Even the Boston one are kind of fun to decode because you can see all of that action going on. And especially if you find that time when they are sending out the satellite picture, that's always cool because it's like watching the satellite picture on TV. But the difference is you actually decode it yourself on your computer with your radio. That's a lot of fun. So yes, Thanos Sam, they're not active right now. The Hurricane WatchNet is not active. They do say it on their webpage. So go to the page that I shared, hwn.org, and there you'll know when they are active. 80K, nice to have you here from Cincinnati, Ohio. Terrence hasn't caught NHK in several years. Yeah, I hear it. Usually it's the weekend because the Saturday evening is my, you know, radio time. On general, what I'll do is I'll edit the International Radio Report show and create the YouTube version. And while I do that, the radio's on, and I, tune different things. And I usually will go to NHK around 04:05 UTC. I think it's 05, and listen to that broadcast. What else do we have? So, Dwayne, nice to have you on board. Anything else here? Jim Gordon says, toasting you all with some Abbott Ale, a beer supposedly brewed to a medieval recipe, and Bury St. Edmunds, Suffolk. Well, that'd be interesting to taste. And there's a lot of these breweries that have also these, exotic way of creating craft beers from ancient recipes and methods that we don't use today. 80K, have you heard anything about the rumor Texan may release an updated version of the S2000 this fall? I haven't heard any rumors of that. And if they do, I hope that they do it good. But I don't know. What I've heard mostly of Texan is they were pretty much surfing on what they have right now. So we'll see if we hear anything. We'll check it out. Yeah, and A&W root beer is great, especially when it's really cold. They usually give you that ice cold glass to pour it in, which is always great. Rob's radio channel got good news. I was working in Grundig Satellite this week and got working. Amplifier need replacing now. Cool. Have you'll get there and have it working. It is an amazing radio. RJ Dakota used to be AEW restaurants here. Memories from my childhood. Can't even find AEW root beer here anymore. Yeah, here it's still popular. I have an A&W burger joint, maybe 10 minutes from here, and they've opened actually a series. They in like I'd say in a 45-minute walking distance from here, I probably can go to at least three different A&W, at least, maybe even four, and they all opened in the last 3 years or so. So I don't know. They kind of got decided to get a rush of A&W. I don't know. I mean, their burgers are okay. Jim Gordon, the jet stream over Scotland, says that the weather is soggy, 11 degrees Celsius. That's the type of weather that you just sit down and listen to the radio. So, Lagardai says the new Texan S2200X is on their website, but it's out of stock. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. I I didn't know. I haven't checked Texan much in a little while. Hope the radio's not too bad. Um, Carol, W7WXV, nice to have you on board from Central Oregon. Pretty cool. Michel Colette, salut, bienvenue, VA2CO. Nice to have you here, Mike, from Labbé, Quebec. Um, Lavu Wild Camper, nice to have you on board from the UK. Just bought an XH Data D8 and D808, I guess, off eBay. It has no battery. I know it's a 18650 cell, but which one? It's a button cell, so an 18650 with a button top. That's what you need, and that'll be okay. Um, KW61 says had a tornado about 5 miles from the house. That's too close for comfort. Blogger Die buys these 18650 batteries from the XH Data website. I guess it's one of the best place. It's one of the best place for the to have a good one, because the biggest problem on 18650 batteries, when you buy them on either eBay or even Amazon, the chances of getting ripped off with bad or fake type 18650s is very high. By buying them on the XH Data website, at least you know that you'll get a good one. SWAT Cuts, nice to have you here. Says I have 2 to go for a clean sweep of the 13 colonies. Rob, nice to have you on board. John Scavarda, nice to have you here. We have Stan says, been enjoying going to concert, baseball games with the weather being nice. Less watching TV or listening to radio. I watch more movies and TV shows on my cell phone. Yeah, you outdoor activities. That's why, I plan, like, I'm checking it out this week. I hope to go to Perry Island one day this week or the next week at the latest. I haven't been there since, I don't even remember if I went there last year. I think I went there once last year. I'm not sure. But I'd like to go back and bring some of the radios, some of the new radios with me for that. What else do we have? Blogger Dice says the Texan PL990 is the best FM I have. I'm going to compare it to that'll be the next one. I'll compare it, that and the H501X. I'm going to compare them with the Quotacen for FM band. I know that the FM seem to be good on the Texan PL990. David's Radio Room finally DX'd an FM station out of Georgia, so that is good. Let's put this a little bigger here, because I have so bagged one in Alabama. Tropo is common around here, but I haven't noticed any e-skip here. I've looked at the DX Map website several times, hoping for some e-skip on FM, and haven't had much chance in the last week or two. There was one morning when there was an opening, because very often when there's an opening, I have Janice that is in Dorval, and she's a big fan of e-skip FM DXing. And usually she sends me a private message on Facebook Messenger telling me that there's an opening, so I can try it. So I'm going to continue. I hope to have some FM DXing at least coming on at some point. Keegan DXer logged new state on FM skip June 22nd at 1447 UT. WSTW in Wilmington, Delaware. Wow, pretty cool. Michael Snow, nice to have you here. Dexter from King, North Carolina, 92 degrees. Nice to have you here. Stan says, got to order my mother-in-law a pocket radio. She wants one while she is working outside. Which pocket radio is the best? If she works outside, and it depends if she wants to wear earphones or not with it. But if she just wants a nice little radio outside, yeah, something that has a lot of punch in the audio. Working outside or using a radio outside, that's the problem for some radios. The audio is so weak that you don't hear them. You need something. You need something that has punch. What else do we have? All the new radios, James Farley, that seem to come out with that automotive chip, the that chip, the what is it? ETF 6686 is really seems to make the performance of these radios go through the roof. It's very, very interesting. I actually read a very nice article about these radio chips. It was the article talked about the TEF 6686, and it talked about the silicon integrated series of chips and how they are implemented in different radios. Some just have a minimal amount of parts, and they just use the capability of the chip itself. The better ones are the ones that actually add circuit around the chip to enhance some functionalities, and also how they use, like on the Texan PL990 and the H501, they use the silicon integrated chip, but they use it at a different level in the different stages of the radio. So that also changes some of the performance and the way the radio goes, and also prevents the radio from chuffing or muting when you tune, because it's not used in the last stage of tuning. It's used somewhere else for the filtering capabilities and the processing they can do. So it's a very nice PDF that I have in my tablet. I'm going to try to find a link and post it in on the Facebook page and make a video about it. Super interesting information. Artgar DX Lithuania, nice to have you on board. Of course, I am located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Matt is back for good, hopefully. That's good. That's good. Just going to try to find where my spot was. So, okay, here we go. Low Tech 420. Hello, Jill. It's been a while. Greetings from Brainbridge Island, Washington, from KF6 GRE. Nice to have you on board. I saw because I think I passed it. I saw somebody ask me about if I've reviewed the Belka or anything. I've not reviewed the Belka. The only way that I can think of that the Belka could be reviewed by me, I know that Janice has one. And last time we met, I wanted to ask her if she could lend me the Belka for, maybe a week, so I can play with it and have the feel of it and make a review and then give it back to her. I think that would be the easiest way to make a review of it. Stan, Sam, I've been a lot of DX on CB and AM and sideband. Been talking to folks across the country. Had my channels aligned on the Galaxy DX 959 with a Striker SRA10 mag mount antenna. And last Monday, he talked to a lot of people, I guess. I took my CB out for a spin about a month ago. It was Friday evening. I was kind of a bored Friday evening that didn't feel like and doing any radio, standard radio. And I looked up and I was watching at my antennas and I saw the CB antenna, and I thought, hey, CB antenna's there. How about I set up my unit in Bearcat in 980 SSB? And so I plugged it in, and behold, there is a gang. Actually, it's a gang that meets up regularly, and they have this weekly net that they do on channel 20 lower sideband. And they are there every Friday night around 11 p.m. And I mean, it goes through the night. That night, I joined in and I was able to contact them. They invited me to their private CB radio page. And I think what I went to bed at, I heard them first, it was about midnight. And I went to bed at 3 a.m. that night because I had a lot of fun with the guys. They were just like super welcoming. It's like it was really nice, and they were very technical. They know what they're talking about. And that's where I learned that my because I need to find my frequency counter. My 980 SSB is about 30 hertz off. So I want to find a way. I guess you can align it. My guess is it probably can be aligned. So I'd like to align it because I don't want to be off. I want to be on frequency. So I was surprised that a new CB of that quality was off by about 30 hertz. So I'm going to check that out. But I had a lot of fun with the guys. And I mean, they have invited me back. They didn't hear me very well because I was using a mag mount, a small mag mount on the metal shed in my backyard. But still, I was very surprised because when I got in, I asked the guys where they were, and they were up north. They were in, one guy was in Val David. There's another guy in that vicinity there up north, which is, a good 40, I'd say a good 40, 50 kilometers from here. So I was actually surprised to make that distance with that crappy antenna. So my next idea is to put back my discount, which I had taken down from the front, and I want to set it up in the back and use the discount, which I'm sure will be much better than that little crappy mobile, and then try again. So that's the other thing. One of the things also that, could have been nice is modification of another radio and, use it on the end fed. That's also something on the CB with that little mobile mag mount. I heard them okay. But when I would come here with my Yaesu on the end fed, I'd hear them 10 times better. But my Yaesu does not broadcast on CB. It's not the Mars mod is not done on it. So it was kind of, wow, I hear them so well here. I was thinking, well, probably they would hear me a lot better if I could use the Yaesu, 57 shortwave Dakota Send with SSB would be incredible. I wouldn't care about air since I'm in a rural area. Plenty of enjoyable aeronautical listening can be done on the HF bands. Yep. Jean Arash, are there any storm chasers in Canada like they have in the US? I guess that is pretty much a US thing. There aren't storm chasers in Canada. Actually, if you Google Quebec storm chasers, they have a page where they show pictures of chasing tornadoes and really bad thunderstorms in case it changes into a tornado. We do have storm chasers across Canada, and they're pretty active. So they have a page. I know that some of the amateur radio, there's a can warn page which is related to amateur radio and bad weather conditions. Like when there's heavy thunderstorms, they activate the can warn. And usually that activates a series of repeaters on a 2 meter and 70 centimeter band, VHF, UHF. And there you'll have people report on the storms, their, how bad they are, their general direction, where they're heading to, and they have reports from some people that are in or near the vicinity of these storms. And this part of this is linked with some storm chasers that have 2 meter rigs in their cars. So it is also something here in Canada. Stan, number 702 in Jamaica on 38 lower sideband. David P. Miller, nice to have you here from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Radio Kid, nice to have you on board. We have local regional Skywarn net based on VHF repeater located west of Washington, D.C. Yeah, it's the same type of what I've just talked about here in Canada. We call it CanWarn for the Canadian version, but it's similar. James Farley, is there a database on addresses for shortwave broadcasters reception reports? The most accurate that you would find if you want to have the info on where to write is the World Radio TV Handbook. The World Radio TV Handbook on that type of information is usually very good. They'll even have names of people to contact and all sorts of things. Because on the internet, it's not always easy to find anything. But World Radio TV Handbook is the best. And by the way, guys, World Radio TV Handbook now is finally an official ebook. You don't have to buy the paper book anymore. They sell it for, I think it's $24.95 or $99. It's 24 to 34. I'm trying to remember, but they have an official ebook. So if you have a tablet and you want to have it, I didn't want to buy the paper book, because I find too many. First of all, the print is too small and tough to read. And, I almost don't have books anymore. So when they announced that the electronic version is coming out, this is really, really cool. So I will be getting the electronic version, and I will probably be buying the next electronic version for the 2025. But I'd say that is the best place if you ever want to find art to, find info like broadcasters, postal address, email address. The World Radio TV Handbook is really good for that. TB Ostrowski, nice to have you here. And yeah, you probably do have storm chases in the prairies too. To Brook Tim, nice to have you on board. David in Barcelona, Spain. ¿Cómo está mi amigo? Hello from Barcelona. Been working on my 2.4 gigahertz uplink setup for the QO100 satellite. Lots of drilling, cutting, and sanding to make all the hardware fit, and the case and metal base plate. That's something that I need to. That's something that I need to get to. I would love to join amateur radio satellite stuff. The I've dedicated the month of July because I did a lot of FT8, and I'm over something like 8,000 contacts made in amateur radio stations. So that's cool, but I have to admit that I'm bored to hell with FT8. So I have dedicated the month of July to be SSB voice only contacts. So I'm going to have fun with that and check out the DX spots and sometimes calling CQ. And one of the things I did come to mind because we talked about it here before about a net, an official SWL channel net, amateur radio net. But I would rather actually do something that is like an event. So I was thinking that at some point, reaching out to, first of all the hams that are on the channel, that are on the live shows, and reaching out to also those that are listeners. And we could do a official shortwave channel amateur radio event. And I was thinking of we could have a special EQSL made for anybody that either makes a contact or that hears one of the stations. And I would go to the DX spots and I would put my call sign, and next to it I would put SWL for shortwave listener for the channel to tell everybody, well, it's special event for that. So if you guys think it's a good idea to have a special event that would be for this, it could coincide with the live show, which would be fun also, and make contacts and have as many of you out there bring out your ham gear and try to contact me, and also as many people as possible trying to get my station and maybe the other stations that are trying. And we could try different bands, can move around a few bands during the event. So we'll think about that and create some special QSL at the same time, like special EQSL. Let's take for 20. Have you reviewed the preliminary info on the upcoming AirSpire Ranger SDR? I haven't. I've heard about it a little bit, but I haven't checked it out yet. I should probably check it out. There's a few things that I want to actually get my hands on. I want to have I want to try the new RTL SDR version 4. First of all, I would like to have one of those to test it, compare it to the V3. I would want, and I do want, a Kiwi SDR. I'd like to have one and set it up permanently that you guys could listen from my location with my MLA30. I would probably put it either on the MLA30, or I was maybe thinking that would be the easy part, or have some switch and put it on the NFED and switch it off the NFED when I'm using the Yaesu. But at first, it would probably be permanently on the MLA30. That would give you guys a way to, listen into my area and to shortwave from here. And so these are two things that are, I think, top of the list for now. But we'll be checking out AirSpy stuff. I mean, I do enjoy using. I have to plug it back. I do enjoy using the. Where is it? It was here the other day. I don't find it, of course, because I can't find it. Here it is. I do enjoy using the the little AirSpy HF Plus Discovery. And I find the size is nice because for a portable operation, it's pretty cool. So I'll be checking that out for sure. Shortwave Archive says Santa Maria de Galeria site. They're planning to install solar panels. Yep, they are planning to do that and power the transmitters also at the same time with that with the solar panel. It'll be interesting. James Farley, there's no reason why they can't add a BFO oscillator separate from the new car or ship radios. Oh no, there's no reason they could easily add one. Absolutely, it'd be interesting to see the performance. Um, it's gonna be really really nice, and that would be I hope they're listening because they did come back to me and they did just tell me that they have seen some of my videos, so that is kind of cool, and I hope they do. I hope they do have um, a DX386 that's going to come out and that would have single sideband and be as good of a radio. It's funny because the the 286 and 386 makes me think more of the good old days of computers when we would buy our 486 and 386 and 286. There's a number station from Russia that is to start in 3 minutes. Frequency 10767. It's in Morse code. 10767. So I put my Yaesu on. I'm going to put the icon too. Let's see if we can hear anything. So 10767, it's M12. It's a Morse code number station out of near Moscow, Russia. That is going to start in about 2 minutes' time. I just heard a tone, so I'm wondering if it might actually come when it starts. Going to be interesting. Um, yeah, that's going to be cool, Rob. You have the SSB part with it. It's great. SWAT Cats finally received a QSL card from KPH after a year and 5 months. Jerry Hart just opened an A&W here. Youch. Better be careful with that, SWAT Cats. Yeah, and the 18650s, by the way, don't believe anyone that says that you got 4 or 5,000 milliamp hour 18650s. They don't. It's a lie. GSS Wizard says my favorite radio for DXing is my Alan Crafters Model SX 100. Yep, Morse code is there. 10767. Maybe I can have you guys hear it if I can reach. Oh, I can't. I don't have the cable. So 10767 Morse code coming out of near Moscow, Russia. Decent signal here. Hearing it on both my ICOM on the MLA30 and my Yaesu on the end-fed antenna. MDK2 got to several hikes this spring, early summer, and I always take my PL600, but without a good external antenna and the solar conditions makes for challenging DX. Yeah, and like I said, sometimes the time of day you're doing it. If you tend to do it more like at 1, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, it's kind of that low point, the worst time for anything when you try to listen to. Because I've had it with the telescopic now. I got to say, you're more west than me, and a lot of the stuff I hear that comes from Europe is probably tougher for you. But like later in the afternoon or in early evening, you should be surprised with what you can hear. L. Robertson, nice to have you here from Scotland. Shortwave Archive was listening to the BBC English 05 UT on 15490. I should try that one. I haven't tried it. David is expecting the arrival of the Malahit DSP2. Cool. Let us know what do you think of it? Matt says it's been more interesting to see how many different NOAA weather stations I can pick up on the handheld transceiver. VE5SAR, Amnetics. Dave Goodwin from RAC just posted ISED will be updating the amateur radio basic question pool soon. So if you're on the fence, now may be the time to write the exam. So they're going to change the questions. Can you do a 19-meter band scan? Yeah, we're going to try that and see what's on. I'm just going to try to reach the end of the chat first. Is the DX286 good for AM DXing? Yes. I'd put it in a very good, very decent radio for that. Especially you can also use it with an external antenna on AM. Steve Burnham, nice to have you here from Pennsylvania. Keegan DXer, last time he's heard E-Skip in FM was on June 29th. Christopher Cullen, nice to have you here. North Wells, about the ATS 120 receiver just released the Pro version. Great show, thank you. Bob T, nice to have you here from Northeast Ohio. Lucas Palmino, nice to have you on board from Chile. Thanks for your channel. I started listening to shortwave. Just going to find where you are because I lost your spot. Let's go here. Well, here my face is rather, it might be red a little bit, but it's decent, not too red. I look kind of normal, maybe a little reddish. So thanks for your channel. I started listening shortwave broadcasting with my Riticus V115 receiver. Welcome from Chile, Lucas. Radio Kits is AM FM if it doesn't need to fit in a pocket. I have had good luck with Panasonic RF 2400, good sensitivity. Sweatcats, how is Paul doing this evening? Oh, he's great. He's happy, lazy cat. He's been going a lot outside. He's been going to the new neighbor's yard. The new neighbors haven't cut their grass, so the grass is like really high. He can kind of get in the grass and you barely see him. And I think he likes that. Um, James Farley, why does Radio New Zealand always come in the middle of the night? I don't understand it. That is a question. That is a question of propagation. Radio New Zealand here starts to get in. There's two times when there's a possibility. By the way, the Morse code M12 Russian number station is still going on. 10767 CW. If you look at a map where you'll see the daytime, nighttime, what happens is that on that map, if they're on a high frequency, you might notice that the reason you hear it at nighttime is because this is what's happening here in Montreal. The Pacific Ocean is in the sunlight. The west coast of the United States is still, or North America is still kind of in sunlight. So that gives a good signal path. And that means that here for the East Coast, for example, that path is good at that time. And this is where it's night. The best times here in Montreal is starting around 11 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m. It just booms in. It's crazy. But it's a question of looking at a map and understanding how that signal travels, and especially when it's higher frequencies or lower frequencies. Jasmine, nice to have you on board. Yeah, no, I've always, since I was young, I've always had kind of reddish, and the lighting probably maybe accentuates the color, especially the spot that's right there is probably making it worse. Um, Radio Kids says, I think RNZ runs programs and the native Maori language for a couple of hours in the wee early morning hours. Yeah, they do have some programming, and definitely for some of the indigenous people of islands in the Pacific. Jasmine research CB radio history found that motorcycle gangs in the 70s and 80s used them. Bob T, thanks for the review on the Shoyang LC90 and Kodosen DX286. Very interesting radios. Not that I need another radio or anything, but you know how that goes. James Farley, where doesn't CHU 14670 only come in once in a while? That is a question, once again, of propagation. An example here, 14670 is impossible. I live too close to Ottawa. So what happens is that the signals are bouncing over. I'm in the skip zone, which is, I don't hear it. Once, many years ago, I had I saw somebody that lived in Massachusetts, and he said, wow, I'm hearing 14670 like I've never heard it before. And that made me curious. So I went and turned on the radio, and it was like S9 plus 10 plus 20 dB at times, which meant there was a very unique propagation process. So it depends where you live. The closer you are to CHU, the more difficult 14670 is to get. But people that live a certain distance, like in Europe, a lot of people, a lot of people hear it quite regularly. 14670. And it ended. The Morse code station just ended. The next one in 10 minutes is 10167. So we'll go down. So 10167 is the next one in 10 minutes time, exactly at 2120 UT. Magnetar, nice to have you here. Anybody here with the new President Washington 10, 11, 12 meter radio? Says it gets way too hot if you key up too long. Yeah, it's like the 980 SSB. If you're on AM mode and you're chatting away, that darn thing comes really hot. VT radio just worked Vietnam on 15 meters FT8. That's cool. Mr. C's Garage. Let's have you here. A lot of people like paper books. I'm the main reason I like ebooks is because with my 10-inch tablet, the zooming capability is really cool. But if it wasn't for that, I still love a good old paper book. Matt says paper books rule, but I'm definitely getting the electronic version of the World Radio TV Handbook. SWL Signals 23 paper books are still purchased. Me and my wife enjoy them very much. Kiddo 1161 says James Farley's. I am in Tucson, Arizona, and I can just hear CHU only if I put my radio in USB mode. Yeah, there is because CHU is a suppressed AM carrier with upper sideband. If you put yourself in lower sideband, you'll notice that you don't hear the time pips or the tom toms. It is a suppressed carrier upper sideband transmission. So it does have an AM carrier in it, which makes it possible on an AM capable radio, but you'll get a better clear reception in upper sideband.